Hi guys, welcome back to Cheyenne O'Bray's YouTube channel. It's been a little bit since I've done a video, and I actually stopped at law number 3, which was the law of cause and effect, and it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, internal, just kind of time of reflection and being consciously aware of some of the triggers that have come up and kind of reflected some areas that I definitely still need to work on in my life in regards to personal growth and self-mastery, and so I'm here today actually. I watched a video this morning that kind of inspired me, and I'll share the link below, but it was Victor Otto interviewed a few of his favorite friends and spirit guides, people that are in the world of sharing their journey and their light, and they just so happen to be some of my very favorite people. And so I was definitely inspired to get back on track in regards to sharing my journey. And they talked today about taking time for self-care and taking time to do what revitalizes and re-strengthens and re-energizes you. And for me, obviously you can hear I'm a country girl. You've got the rooster and the motorcycles in the background, and my horse. My horses are my happy place. They always have been. A kind of place where I can just come and sit and shift my state, or just even just spend time bare feet in the grass, grooming and loving on my babies. But today I have a message, and it actually ties into the law number 4, which is the law of polarity, and it ties into, self-care and being consciously aware of what everything is going on. The law of polarity, this universal law, states that everything is on a continuum and has an opposite. We can suppress and transform undesirable thoughts by concentrating on the opposite polarity. It is the law of mental vibrations. And at first, when I read that and started studying it, I couldn't quite put the lesson in this law into my mind in a way that I could really resonate with it until just recently. And I think that's part of what took me so long to share this last post. It's a fireball and hang with your horses kind of evening. It's a Friday night, so I'm just gonna roll with it. But I just feel really strongly to share this, and it's interesting because as we wake up and become more aware of our actions and the things that trigger us, and even though there's times that we may regress a little, and there's times that we may be triggered by some past things, I believe wholeheartedly that we're faced with the same lessons over and over and over again until we learn the lesson. And I definitely feel in some aspects of my life I'm being faced with the same trials and the same challenges and tests, and learning how to change the way that I react is huge in I think personal growth and accessing that self-mastery. And so I've spent a lot of time in deep thought with all of this, and I've been reading a book called The Voice of Knowledge with Janet Mills, and it's a practical guide to inner peace. It's from Don McGill, and I believe I've shared this book a few times in some of my posts that I've done, but I'll definitely leave the link for this book. It's one of many. He is the author of the best-selling book The 4 Agreements, which is actually something that I want to read, but I couldn't have picked a better book to be blessed with by somebody in my life, that it resonates with where I'm at in my life and where I need to grow the most and understand. And so I really wanted to share something with you guys to kind of help put this into perspective a little bit. And it kind of ties into my paintbrushes and my crazy room and everything else. So here, I'll go ahead and just share this part. Your story is your creation. You are the artist with the force of life flowing through you. If you don't like your art, you have the power to change it. That's the good news. You don't have to be you anymore, and that's the maximum freedom. You don't have to be what you believe you are. You don't have to be that anger or that jealousy or that hate. You can recover the sense of what you really are, return to paradise, and live again in heaven on earth. And a little pause in this, I firmly believe that ties into, the law of polarity. If we want to transform, and if we want to move forward, we have to be able to climb this. We have to be able to come to a point in our lives where we become consciously aware of the fact that we have to take charge, and we have to be in control of even just where our thoughts go, and where our inner voice is speaking to us, what we choose to listen to as truth, and what we choose to acknowledge as a lie. And this book has really been teaching me about the lies that we've been taught to believe true our whole life. And I believe it's really important to remember, and I actually wrote the quote on this: you are the artist of your own masterpiece. And it's a beautiful masterpiece. Everybody has their own unique canvas, and what we do with it is our choice. And I think it's really important to remember that our paintbrush is ours. We need to be really cautious not to give someone else that paintbrush. So I want to read a quote that kind of ties into all of this, and I really love it. We are all artists painting our lives upon the canvas of reality. Mix the colors your own way and apply emotion liberally. Don't be afraid to let your brushstrokes show, and above all else, make sure your art has soul. By Christen Rodgers. And I really love that, because I feel like sometimes we're all really afraid to step out of our comfort zone, or what society's expectations of conformality is for who we are and what we stand for and what we believe, and how we express ourselves, And so I really feel it's important just to embrace your own inner beauty, and let your own unique canvas be painted with your own brushstrokes and your own style, and let it resemble who you are as a person and your soul. Everything you do should definitely come from the soul. And so I want to share some points to ponder in this. It's kind of perfect in tying into the law of polarity. Every emotion that you feel is real. It is truth. It comes directly from integrity of your spirit. You cannot fake what you feel. You can try to justify or repress your emotions. You can try to lie about what you feel, but what you feel is authentic. The voice of knowledge can make you feel ashamed of your feelings, but there is nothing wrong with whatever you feel. There is no good emotions or bad emotions. Even if what you feel is anger or hate, it comes from your integrity. If you feel it, there is always a reason for feeling it. Everything you perceive causes an emotional reaction. You perceive not only your feelings, but your knowledge, your own thoughts, judgments, and beliefs. You perceive the voice in your head, and you have an emotional reaction to that voice. Every time you lie to yourself, or judge yourself, or reject yourself, you have an emotional reaction, and it isn't pleasant. If you don't like the emotional reaction, it's not about repressing what you feel, it's about cleaning up the lies that cause it. All of your emotions change when you no longer believe in lies, because the emotions are the effect, not the cause. Our emotions are real. The voice of knowledge that makes us suffer is not. Our suffering is true, but the reason why we suffer may not be true at all. And that's something to try to wrap your head around. Humans are possessed by knowledge, by a distorted image of ourselves. That is why we are no longer free. Emotional pain is a symptom of being abused. The pain is letting you know that you have to do something to stop the abuse. The emotions are the most important part of your story, because they are telling you how you are doing in your life. By following your emotions, you can change your circumstances. And that is so, that is so vital in regards to changing the polarity. You absolutely have to be in tune with your emotions. Be in tune with what triggers some of the feelings that leave you feeling ashamed or not good enough. As you begin to love yourself, you will find that the pain and the suffering are only really warning signs that you are living against your own truth. And my emotions are telling me how I'm doing in life. I need to always be in check with who I am. And this comes really easy if you just take the time. in meditation to do like not only, your body scan of areas in your body that you're feeling physical pain, but to do an emotional body scan too. Your chakras, which I'm actually going to be teaching the kids this next week about, and kind of learning as I go, because I know, I'm familiar with what the chakras are, but I don't know the colors and the meanings, and really being able to do that scan utilizing the chakras and looking for blockages and trying to understand what's going on an emotional level, I feel is key to being able to access that self-mastery that I've been so intrigued by. And it's interesting, somebody that I've been observing who has really kind of accessed a level of self-mastery that I have not been able to observe in others. We're all humans, we're not perfect, we all have our downfalls, we all struggle in our own personal areas, but this person is absolutely amazing. And he told me, he said, Cheyenne, our world really does evolve around us. And it was something in comment to me getting after one of the kids, because he had turned the camping and trip into his own, like, fishing is all I want to do, and everything evolves around my fishing and whether or not my pull is how it's supposed to be. And I'm like, Bubba, the world does not evolve around you, buddy. And later on, we got to talking about it, and he said, our worlds really do evolve around us. Our world is our masterpiece, and it is what we make it, and we can be selfish, because in a sense, we're here to learn our own truths, and we're here to learn through our journey, and we are the main character, and everybody else is secondary characters, and this book is really teaching me a lot about that. And we create who we believe those secondary characters are by who they are to us and our relationship with them. So it's really interesting, but I really feel that we have to be consciously aware of our feelings to keep us in check, to help us understand, what, I'm feeling this because there's something that I have been triggered by, that I either need to learn how to grow from or through, or I need to remove from my environment because it is not good for me. Or there's so much that goes into this, and it's easy to know it, but then to know that you're not practicing it, and also to know it, but to still watch yourself regress and suppress a little bit. And not a little bit, a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I have gained a lot of weight in the last couple of months in this whole quarantine thing, and I've been triggered and consciously aware of some unhealthy eating patterns that I've picked up, and reintroducing sugar and alcohol and certain things that it's just easy to time to take a break, even in small amounts. You have to be really consciously aware of falling back and regressing. And it's interesting, as I watch the number on the scale go up, how I'm triggered to remember who I was at 300 plus pounds and how unhappy I was, and knowing that it went way further, way more in depth than just my comfort food. We have to really stay in check of our emotions and be careful not to self-sabotage. And it's one of those things that when you are awake and you are consciously aware, it's a little bit more frustrating and hard when you're staring at a reality of a reflection of a person that is at basically a crossroads. And we actually talked about this the other day too, where we all come to crossroads, and I believe that we have several crossroads in our life, and we have choices, and those choices determine what direction we go on those crossroads. And someone explained it beautifully to me, and I can't quite remember exactly how it goes, but kind of just referencing the crossroads to the cross. And I look forward to hopefully being able to interview that person in regards to that and get more of an understanding, because the way that he painted it was pretty beautiful in understanding, our choices to the left, to the right, or do we go straight ahead, and standing still sometimes, and just spending time in reflection and self-observation and observation of others, and just being still. Actually, the last card reading that I had done through the Goddess Oracle card reading that Jamie worked as one of my good friends. One of the cards was to be still and just to observe before making any decisions, just to be really consciously aware of what was going on both inside and outside. And so that's something that I've been working on. I feel like that a lot of us probably are experiencing some sort of, regression or triggers. This is a definite, life-altering time, and I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to be where I'm at in this journey and to have such amazing, strong spirit tribe members. I'm still holding on to my mojo bag that I started that was brought to me, this pendant with the dream catcher on one side, and on the back it says live beautifully, dream passionately, and love completely. And it's something that I use to kind of ground me and bring me back to where I need to be focused in regards to my life right now. And so I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that you guys continue to follow me through my journey and share with me what are some things that you've been triggered by throughout this whole coronavirus pandemic quarantine. Do you find yourself growing spiritually? Do you find yourself doing a little bit of maybe some regression, some falling back? Are you triggered by things where you're realizing that there's areas in your life that you definitely still need personal growth? Please comment and share. And if you like this, share it, subscribe to it. I haven't done a video in a while, so I apologize for being kind of out there a little bit, but it is a journey, and I feel like we have to share during the times that we're most vulnerable. And we don't always walk the straightest line of just our highest self, and it's okay to take time in resting and to take time in healing and reflection of knowing that hey, something's repeating. I must not have got that as exactly like I thought I did. Let's try again. Let's see what life lesson in this that I'm not quite grasping, and let's understand it this time so we don't have to repeat it again. And so namaste, you guys. Stay tuned for law number 5.